Whenever you're ready, Jazz, we're ready.
Alright. Hi, my name is Tom Sawyer, and I like going on adventures. And then at the end, you're going to figure out what's in this treasure box. My real name is Chaz Mosby, and I'm reading a book called Tom Sawyer, written by Mark Twain. Tom, he is a curious boy, and he always gets in trouble. Like an example, he was eating sugar and jam when he was supposed to mow the lawn, and then his mother and then his aunt told him to paint the fence. And then 1 hour later, this kid named Ben Rogers came over and said, "Hey, why are you working? Why you won't just play?" But Tom said, "Well, I was eating sugar and jam when I was supposed to be mowing the lawn." And then Ben Rogers said, "Can I paint the fence?" And then Tom's like, "My aunt wouldn't like that at all." And then Ben Rogers said, "Please, please, 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 I'll give you this green apple." And then Tom started standing there for a little bit. And then he's like, "It's a deal." Next day, it's Sunday, and then they go to church all the time. And then every Sunday they go to church and to their Sunday school, and then read the Bible. Then they go to Sunday school, and then he went to the Sunday school, and then whoever has the most tickets gets 2 golden Bibles. So Tom, he didn't have that much. He really wanted to win, and then he traded stuff from his pockets for tickets, and then he had tickets all stuffed in almost all his pockets, and then 3 people were gonna come in: the daughter, the wife, and the judge. And then the judge came in and started counting the tickets which somebody had. And then the last one was Tom, and the judge says, "Whoa, you have lots of tickets. You have the most tickets. Here are your two golden Bibles." So he won it. All right. Next day, he had a friend named Huck Finn. They went to the graveyard, and then because they're walking, because they met each other from Sunday school, and they were walking, and they heard a sound in the graveyard, and then there was these people, and they knew who they were. There's 2 bad guys and then 1 good guy. Injun Joe, Muff Potter, and the doctor. Then they were digging a grave, and then for a couple minutes. And then they were done, and then here's Injun Joe says, "Here's $5 for helping us." And the doctor says, "Hey, you said $20. And then they started fighting each other, punching each other, and then the doctor punched Injun Joe in the face, right? And then he hit himself flat on the ground. And then my father says, "Hey, you don't treat my partner like that." And then they started fighting. And the doctor grabbed a headstone and hit him in the head. Oh. then Injun Joe had his knife and then stabbed the doctor, and then the doctor got killed.
Oh.
And then Tom and Huck just standing there until Injun Joe and Muff came. Muff went away. Next day, when they were walking back home, it was still morning, and Tom asked Huck to go look for the missing treasure, because they heard when in the graveyard for the missing treasure, and then he went to this haunted house where Injun Joe and Muff were saying where to hide it, and then they said to hide it in the cave. So he told Tom that, and then Tom from Sunday school, he was trying to get her attention, and then they met each other from school, and then they were friends, and then Tom gets Becky to search in the cave, and then they were looking around, and then they saw 1,000 of bats at the sky, and Becky, she stepped on the stick, and then they woke up the bats, and then the bats started chasing them all over the cave, and then and Becky and Tom started running around the whole place, like the cave. And then one of the bats blew out the candle, and then they got lost. They didn't know where to go. They got lost for 3 days. They still survived, but they're very weak. And then Becky was the weakest, and so Tom went to find the treasure on his own and left Becky, and then he saw Injun Joe, and then saw Injun Joe, and then he remembered this big giant rock that he saw. Then he knew where to go now, and then they got Becky, and then they're out of the cave, and they went back home. Out. Becky's mom couldn't say a word. Then Tom went to get Huck. Told that he had to go look in the cave, and then for the treasure. And then we looked around all over, and then when they opened the door, Injun Joe was dead on the ground because the governor, he put a door in and then locked it, and then Injun Joe couldn't come out, so he died because he didn't have water or hunger. And then the boys looked everywhere, and then they found a cross, and then they took it out and then started digging, and it took like 30 minutes because they just kept on digging, and it was pretty deep. And then guess what? They found the treasure. And then they found the treasure, and they went back home, and Tom said to a whole bunch of people, that Huck and I are rich. And then everybody started bursting laughing, and then he went to see Huck and proved it, and then everybody was amazed, and then they were cheering. The end. And then and anybody want to guess what's in this treasure box? Logan.
What's good?
No. Tyler?
Diamonds.
Nope. Dan?
Money.
Nope.
Chocolate coins.
Nope.
A school.
Nope. Riley?
Jewel and Island.
Nope. Lily?
Treasure. I'm guessing, because I saw the strap in there, I'm guessing it's a satchel.
Nope. All right, Kato.
A medal.
Nope.
One more guess.
Candy. What? It's candy. we're just pretending it's treasure, so I'm just going to give candy to all of you guys.
Give them a round of applause.
Everyone thought you were talking about the real thing.